So whatever my thoughts are on this movie, I will just say it would be infinitely better if they had some Phil Collins music in there. He's swinging on vines, they're playing Phil Collins. Come on, it would have made it so much better. The Legend of Tarzan stars Alexander Skarsgard, Margot Robbie, Samuel L. Jackson, Christoph Waltz, and is directed by David Yates, the guy who made a lot of the Harry Potter movies. And it's the dark and gritty Batman Begins type reboot, retelling sort of Tarzan's story, but not. It takes place after the fact of like okay, he's raised by apes, and he's all feral, he's a man ape, he's swinging around on vines, he meets Jane. Like, we skip all that, we've seen it, you know, Disney's Tarzan. We've seen it done really well. I love this movie. I grew up on it, actually. Just to sidetrack for a minute, I grew up on that movie a lot, and even more than that, George of the Jungle, which my mom has told me about this many times. When I was really, really young, it was probably between the age of like 2 to 4, something like that. It's like, apparently every day I would just watch George of the Jungle with Brendan Fraser. It's like, okay, like I couldn't get enough of that movie. And you know what? I haven't rewatched it lately, but it makes me want to go back and watch it. I just had a thing for that. Yeah, watch out for that tree. Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, I watched Tarzan this. I've always had a little bit of a fascination with a buffed out baby oil guy with long hair. I don't know how he shaves. He's really smooth. I don't know where he's getting the razors to shave. He doesn't have razor burn. I don't get that. But yeah, he talks to apes. He swings from vines. He's a badass. It's cool. It's a very cool concept that I've enjoyed very much as a young lad. But yeah, I've never seen it beyond that Disney Tarzan movie or George of the Jungle. So I was very excited to go into this one, like, let's see this. They're going to make it kind of dark and gritty and badass, but hopefully not take it too seriously. David Yates, I like a lot of his Harry Potter stuff, so let's see what we get here. But yeah, no Phil Collins music. I just felt a little ripped off by that, but I'll get over it quickly. But yeah, this movie, we skipped the origin story. Tarzan he's John Greystoke, and he lives in England. And a little touch that I like, they have it like, because he has to walk on his hands all the time, he's got fucked up hand bone structure. That was a little touch. But yeah, him and Jane go back to the jungle for reasons, and he very quickly has to jump back in the saddle, get back in the swing of things, Master Greystoke, and he's gonna go swinging, kick some ass. Christoph Waltz is a generic villain. Samuel L. Jackson's Tarzan's sidekick. It's gonna be a fun time. Like, Tarzan, I wasn't expecting greatness. I wasn't expecting something amazing, because like Tarzan's just a fun idea that hopefully they can make cool without taking too seriously. But they do kind of. They take it kind of seriously. They do. It's like Batman Begins. They take it very seriously. Dark, gritty colors. And it's just a gray color palette. They play it very serious. There is some jokes, though. Pretty much Samuel L. Jackson's there to add all the jokes, all the humor. And I was happy. He was the sidekick. I didn't know that going in. And I'm just like, thank God he's in this movie. Does he stick out a little? Like, here's Samuel L. Jackson just making jokes all the time. Yeah, but it added so much I never minded it at all. He was one of the better parts of the movie. And then the rest of the actors, you know, Alexander Skarsgard, I've liked him in some things, and it's like, the only real issue I have with his Tarzan, and it's not necessarily characterization, it seems like such a minor thing, it's the voice, because when I think of Tarzan, I think of a very manly voice. Tarzan. Gorilla. I'm just thinking of the Disney movie now, but he should have a bit badass manly voice. Yeah, but aside from that, that's such a minor complaint. Why'd I even bring it up? I don't know. But yeah, aside from that, I thought he did good. And Tarzan's not like the greatest role. It's not a very deep role. Feral man beast basically gets tamed a little bit to learn humanity. But yeah, he's just a dude buffed out, swinging from vines, and like, they definitely could have made him more interesting, and I really wish they did, because he was pretty fucking dull. And it's not the deepest character, but they could have made him more interesting. He wasn't very interesting. He's just kind of there to kick some ass and make love to Margot Robbie. And then Margot Robbie. I liked her in this movie quite a bit. I like her in a lot of things, and her role also just kind of damsel in distress, Tarzan's Jane, and not that much more. It's like, I like her character. The little bits they give her here and there is very enjoyable, and she did it very well. Not a whole lot, but what she did do, she did really good. And then Christoph Waltz, the guy that every time he's in a Tarantino movie, knocks it out of the park. He's just an amazing actor in those, just steals the show. And even in a movie like Carnage, he was really, really good. But any other movie I think of him in, it's just kind of like he's phoning it in. Like, okay, Tarantino's not writing his dialogue, so he just doesn't try as hard maybe, and maybe that's it. Tarantino's not writing his dialogue, so he's not an interesting character. He doesn't get a lot of cool shit to do, so he's just not very good. It's like Tarantino movies is where he's good. And don't give me that shit like, oh, he was great in Water for Elephants. I know he was, but that doesn't matter right now. He was a very dull, boring villain role that was very cookie cutter and bland. And that's like most of the characters. It's just like Tarzan's kind of bland. Jane didn't have a whole lot. The villain's bland. Samuel L. Jackson stands out because he's like, I'm gonna be funny and Samuel L. Jackson like, and it'll be entertaining. It's like, thank God for Samuel L. Jackson. Without him, it'd be very hard to get through this movie because there's not a whole lot to hold it to you. It's like, okay, we got some cool action. Tarzan on the vines and all that. It's like, it's kind of cool. Sometimes CGI is a little too obvious. And we got some cool fights with animals and stuff. And like I said, it's dark and gritty. We get flashbacks to reflecting on important moments. It is very much a Batman Begins for Tarzan. All these flashbacks to little things here and there that sort of matter and sometimes don't. And then the dark and gritty filter, the way it's filmed and everything. It is a gritty jungle, and there's some badass moments. Like, he gets ripped open, like he's got a wound, and so he's using ants to like bite him and pinch him to close it like stitches. I'm like, that's just cool. They also did this a lot. They had people looking around, and it's slow motion close-ups of their eyes. It was supposed to be very artistic. Like, yeah, it just seemed a little out of place and like, oh, this seems kind of random, just random close-ups of eyes doing stuff. This movie has cool concepts here and there, some really good moments. It's entertaining enough, and I appreciate the take. We're not just going to do the same story again. We've seen it. Let's move on, touch on some new ground, but it's overall not too interesting. It's an enjoyable watch, but it's a little bit forgettable. It's like some badass action and Samuel Jackson being funny here and there. So yeah, I'd give The Legend of Tarzan a B-. It's just like, it was just good enough, but I wanted more out of this movie. I want a lot more than they gave me. So I'm telling you, Phil Collins music might have actually brought this rating up. I might have enjoyed the movie more because of the Phil Collins music, but I didn't have it, so sorry. But yeah, it was good. It was an enjoyable movie, but just kind of forgettable, and it could have been way better than it was. So comment below, tell me your thoughts on The Legend of Tarzan. What's your thoughts on the classic Disney movie? Come on. And also, what's your thoughts on George of the Jungle? I'm going to go back and rewatch that. I'm going to find it, and I need to watch it again, because it's just, I'm thinking about it, it's bringing back a couple memories, and it's just like, is it good? Probably not, but I just want to revisit it. So yeah, comment below, and thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later.